Hello guys, my name is Zsanae Roberts and here is my case assessment and presentation. The overview of this case involves a teenage girl. She is 16 years old and she made an outcry to her school in regards to her mom's boyfriend allegedly fondling her. This case stood out to me the most because it started to become a criminal investigation. Detectives were involved. The challenges that were faced were the investigations, which included text messages, the people who were present at the time, and interviews with the detective. And another challenge also consisted of knowing who to believe in this case. Once the investigation process was completed, it is hard to gather the facts and know who to believe, the victim or the alleged perpetrator. At the end of this, I want the class to provide me with insight and support when handling these type of challenges, because there's many times where as social workers we are faced with determining who the victim and who the perp is. The case summary involves the client, who is the 16-year-old teenage female. Her family is in the middle class. They reside in Denver. Their race is Mexican and white. The client is developmentally and educationally on track. There are no reports of any diagnosis, risk of the teenage girl. The client's mother and the mother's boyfriend both work. There are 5 siblings in the home. How this case started was the teenage girl made an outcry to school staff about her mother's boyfriend making inappropriate comments to her and also putting his hand on her bra underneath her shirt. The client told the detective that this has been going on for 3 months now, and she also first made an outcry to her best friend's mom, who told her that she needs to tell her mother. This family does not have any current or past allegations of child abuse and neglect, but we are investigating as if it is child abuse or neglect. The role of Denver Human Services is to investigate for child abuse and neglect from birth to the age of 18 years old. As an intern, my role is to shadow and observe each case and eventually inputting how I feel and what I received from the case. However, my supervisor's role is to investigate with the detective assigned for child abuse and or neglect. After the investigation process is completed, the social worker either files on the alleged perpetrator or closes the case. There was quite a few strengths involved within this case, which consists of: one, the teenage girl has a best friend that she does trust and that she does confide in regards to these issues and these incidents occurring. Another issue is the teenage girl's mother is very cooperative and appropriate in regards to this investigation. The mother's boyfriend, the alleged perpetrator, is also very cooperative and appropriate as well. Another one is the siblings were very open and honest with the social worker and the detective. They were honest about the relationship that they built with one another. They were honest about them not liking their parent's significant other as well. The grandmother was present for these interviews as well. And another huge strength in regards to this case and the investigation is that the teenage girl remembered dates of each of the incidents. This was a very big factor when it comes to investigation process, because if The teenage girl knew the day, the exact time, who was there. This definitely builds a case on the perpetrator. However, the limitations that are involved in this case, the teenage girl stated people who weren't present during the time of the incident. She told detectives that her best friend was there during multiple occasions when this incident occurred, but when the detective went and investigated and interviewed with the best friend was never there. The teenage girl also deleted text messages between her and her best friend and her and the mother's boyfriend. The last one is the mother was present for all the alleged incidents. This is a huge factor as well because we have multiple people who were there to see if this incident was true or not. The environment of this family, they are a middle-class family who resides in Denver. The client currently does not work. She is in high school. She is a sophomore. The client does have access to water, heat, and electricity, and there is no overcrowding in the home. Everyone has their own room. This family is Mexican and white. The family currently does not receive any services such as food stamps, WIC, Medicaid, any assistance. The family speaks only English. The role of the family is difficult due to siblings not liking their parent's significant other. This is a huge factor I saw within each interview because each sibling stated why they didn't like their parent's significant other and why they didn't like the children there. So it was more of a revenge type of thing that was going on within this family. And the client nor the family is a part of any groups or organizations. The overall assessment of the case was that once this case was investigated for child abuse and or neglect, the social worker and the detective found that the problem was that the teenage girl wasn't telling the whole entire truth based on the information that she gave. There was one incident where she said that her best friend was there and her mom was also present, but when the detective started investigating, only the mom and the victim were present, not the best friend. Once phone records were seized by the detective, she also found that she didn't contact the best friend during these times, and she still remained in contact with the alleged perp and acted like nothing was wrong. The teenage girl and her mother both identified that they were there at the time of the incidents, but mother was stating that she did not see or hear any of this occur, and she was around her boyfriend and her daughter the whole entire time. The siblings from both of the cases, like I said, do not like their parents' significant others, so I think this also had a huge involvement in this case because they didn't want to see their parents together at all. They would rather see them separated. We also concluded that the teenage girl may be misinterpreting what the mom's boyfriend is saying in regards to his comments, or he may be a little bit too friendly with his comments, which is where that help may need to be provided, but there was no alleged fondling or any of that occurred. We also believe that mom's boyfriend could use some help in regards to parenting and learning how to not be so friendly to the daughter if she is misinterpreting things or looking at them in too much detail, because this can cause a lot of problems as well. From this information, my supervisor, the social worker, cannot file on mom's boyfriend due to the inadequate and limited information that we received from the teenage girl in the witnesses that were and were not there.